Hello, mga kaigsuunan nga Rotarians. Today is our anniversary and I am proud, I am very happy to join all of you whom I have missed for more than a year. But Rotary is not what some people think it is. Rotary is not even what some people would want it to be. Rotary is a product of a need in a community. Paul Harris, who grew up in the village of Vermont in the US, was so happy in that village. After becoming a lawyer and after going all around the world for about 5 years, he felt the need for companionship. While he has hung his shingle as a lawyer, he was still looking for clients. And even as he had clients already, he felt the need of companionship after office hours. On weekends, he could go to the shorelines of Chicago and still felt the need for companionship. And he saw the community of Chicago all around, competitive of New York, with some criminalities all around. He felt the need for community projects, but he could not do it alone. And so, he decided to consult with him, with 2 or 3 of his friends. And they met. They conversed, exchanged ideas, and the idea of an organization came about. But then, they said, we cannot just stay in your house or in your office all the time. We have to rotate the handling of sponsorship of a coffee shop or whatever, whether it will be lunchtime, dinner time, or merienda time. They said it cannot be done by just one. We have to rotate from office to office, from house to house. And so it became a very ideal rotation from office to office, from house to house, among his few friends, until they grew. And the group of Paul Harris decided that we must have to organize something that can help the community. And they decided on the Rotary, and it became Rotary Club. Why Rotary? Because they rotated the hosting of the meeting, merienda, lunch, dinner, whatever. So it became Rotary, out of the word rotation, rotating. And then they felt that they needed more members so that they could influence some sections of the growing community, the growing city of Chicago. And then they thought of organizing this club. And after organizing this club, they thought of reaching out into other cities in the US. And they succeeded. And from the US, with their friends, with their connections, because as I said earlier, Paul Harris went around the world, went around, when I say world, the limited world at that time. And when I say at that time, this is just in the 1900, because Rotary came up in 1905, 1909, 1908. And so, from the US, they grew from several cities in the US, and they went to Canada. With the contacts that they have had, and with the growing clientele of Paul Harris as a lawyer, and with his growing group with various and different professions, they grew. Then from Canada, Rotary went to England, London, until they have gone through so many other countries and reached Japan and China. And as early as 1919, 1920, they put up the first club in the Philippines. That's the Rotary Club of Manila. And it took some decades before that could really spread. They had Cebu, they had Davao, and Cebu Rotary Club organized the Rotary Club of Cagayan de Oro. And we had our charter presentation April 22, 1948. What is that date? And what was municipality of Cagayan de Misamis during that time? We were just coming out from the ashes of the Second World War. 1948. Liberation was 1945. The withdrawal of sovereignty of the US and our ultimate independence was 1946. So, just 2 years after we became independent. But, again, some people say, what is really a Rotary Club? Paul Harris says, it is better not to ask what is Rotary. Rather, it should be, what does Rotary do in a community? Like the Rotary Club of Cagayan de Oro, which we take pride of as the greatest club, what do we do? What have we done to the community, to the city of Cagayan de Oro? Has any group think of supporting the boys' town in Lumbia? Has any group went out to support primarily the program on stopping, eliminating polio in the Philippines? The Rotary Club throughout the world and our own came up with programs against polio. The Rotary International was involved in the Second World War, not in the field of battle, but supporting ideas and all, supporting the ones at home. And it was also active even in the Second World War. Again, not in the battlefield, but supporting the ones left at home, whether it would be community projects, whether it was medicine, whatever. But there is one distinction that I would like to emphasize in our Rotary Club and all other Rotary clubs throughout the world, and especially in Cagayan de Oro. We do not just accept anyone to a club. There is what we call sectional. This system of classification will be discussed by President Gus. Now, as we celebrate today our anniversary, let us look forward to what more can we do. Yes, not only because of the pandemic, we have reduced our membership even before the pandemic. But there was a time when the Rotary Club, under the old regime, when Governor Dan Saraga was still alive, the Tamparongs were still alive, and so many others, we reached 120. And it went down. One, because there were other clubs that were organized. We organized some. What we organized also organized others. And so the citizenry were divided into several clubs. But then, we were down, unfortunately, 1993. We were down to 45 from a standing of 71. From 120, it went down to 71, and worse, it went down to 45. And I recall Governor Dan Saraga asking me to lead the club. And we did. From 45 within 6 months, from August to December, we went back to 71. In other words, whosoever was out of the club for whatever reason, returned to the club. August to December. And from January to June 30, we were able to raise it to 100 by campaigning on what we call the Century Egg Rotarians. My partner was Chito then, who was my vice president and who finally took over as president. Mine was 1993, 1994, Chito 1994, 1995. And again, Dan Saraga forced me, I would say in quotation marks, forced me to take another term because I served only for 10 months in the first term. And I said, I cannot do it anymore because I am a politician. He said, no. And I do not need to be governor. Yeah, because you cannot qualify unless you shall have served as president of a club for 12 months, you cannot qualify for the governorship. So I told him, I do not need to be governor. And siya, you may not need to be governor, but the club may need it. And it came to pass that I became governor because of what Governor Dan told me. I am relating this to you not so much to build me up, but to let you know and recall that there were times when we were up, there were times when we were down, and what happened to me, according to the Governor Dan, can happen to us at any time. How many of us now are in the club? A little over 60? How many are active? Well, we cannot be very active now because of the pandemic. And we are all praying that this will end. But, again, whether there is a pandemic or no pandemic, our obligation as Rotarians remains. And that obligation goes into community build-up. Whatever weak section of a community, Rotary must go there. If other organizations do not let Rotary do it. Be proud as a Rotarian as we now celebrate our anniversary. Be proud that you are a member of the Rotary Club of Cagayan de Oro, the greatest club. Balikon ko, pakalipay sa tanan nga mga sakop sa Rotary Club sa Cagayan de Oro, the greatest club on this day, our anniversary, 73rd years. Salamat.